The PA Takeover Program organizes satellite exhibitions across the globe. Working outside of the walls of the Piero Atchugarry Galleries, PA Takeovers engage new audiences and communities. Exhibiting internationally and throughout the United States, the PA Takeovers are not traveling shows, but rather highly site-specific exhibitions. The program challenges the gallery's represented artists to think on their feet, adapting to and confronting new floor plans and sites. Each of these sites presents a unique history and architecture, which in turn brings about new associations between the viewer and the work. The diverse approach to exhibition design that the PA Takeover program encourages allows artists, curators, and spectators alike to have an ever-evolving relationship to art. The PA Takeover program began in 2019 when Piero Atchugarry organized a satellite exhibition with contemporary Brazilian artist Túlio Pinto. Presenting large-scale metal and blown glass sculptures by Pinto, the solo exhibition, Landline, was held at the Fondamenta San'Apollonia in Venice during the Biennale. Túlio's sculptures present this very tenuous yet symbiotic relationship, where the materials seem at odds. Something as fragile as glass sharply contrasts with the industrial, rusted metal. Yet in actuality, they are each other's supports. Juxtaposed with the beginnings of medium specificity in post-war art, Túlio's work pushes beyond the practice of presenting and almost revering the autonomous state of the medium. Holding the exhibition at the Fondamenta San'Apollonia also presented a point of convergence between two drastically different periods of art. The Fondamenta San'Apollonia is one of the only extant Romanesque buildings in Venice, a city whose program of architecture is inspired by the Gothic tradition. Appearing after the year 1000, Romanesque architecture is recognizable for its stone vaulting, semicircular arches, and compound piers with colonnettes. These features assert the mass of the structure, clearly defining where the weight is being transferred. In contrast, Túlio's pieces appear to defy laws of physics, obscuring the transferal of weight from the viewer. What is also striking about Landline's connection to the exhibition space is the tradition of exhibition design itself. Romanesque churches were often sites of mass pilgrimage. Worshippers came from all over Europe to tour churches dedicated to martyred saints. Coming from all walks of life, many visitors could not read or speak the language of the towns they visited. So it was the onus of the architect of these churches to direct people through the space through the language of architecture alone. 9 centuries later, we see the same invisible guiding hand in contemporary exhibition design. Artists and curators plan the audience's trajectory through the space, so that each piece they encounter contextualizes the next. In May of 2020, the Piero Atchugarry Gallery presented the second PA Takeover, TXYZ, a satellite group exhibition in Miami's Design District. The area of land that is now the Design District was once a pineapple farm in a neighborhood referred to as Buena Vista. By the 1980s and early 1990s, the Design District had fallen into disrepair. It wasn't until the late 90s that Miami native Craig Robbins recognized the potential of the district and started acquiring buildings in the neighborhood. Through careful stewardship and rich cultural programming, the Design District began to attract design brands, important art collections, and design installations. As new buildings were erected and historic structures were transformed, design showrooms flocked to the area, paving the way for a program of art and design that is both stunning, culturally enriching, and functional as a neighborhood. Today, the Miami Design District is home to cultural institutions like ICA Miami, the De La Cruz Collection, and Locust Projects. Wandering about the district offers chance encounters with thought-provoking works of art. Mounting the latest PA Takeover there created a more casual encounter where one could happen upon the exhibition. When visitors enter the gallery, they cross a threshold into space redefined by sculpture. The group exhibition presented contemporary Latin American sculptors Veronica Vázquez, Pablo Rasgado, Arthur Lescher, and Túlio Pinto. Hailing from Uruguay, Mexico, and Brazil respectively, each of the 4 artists has a signature sculptural practice that redefines our understanding of time, space, and gravity. Uruguay-based artist Veronica Vázquez weaves and suspends her rugged materials, such as cardboard and iron, creating formal rhythms through negative space. Mexico City-based artist Pablo Rasgado reinterprets found materials, taking deconstructed buildings and reorganizing their pieces to create sculptures that then serve as an index of their original context. Porto Alegre-based artist Túlio Pinto works to establish a conflicting yet symbiotic relationship between his materials, blown glass and steel. Blown glass appears to be frozen in a moment of pressure between steel restraints, yet that pressure seems to slowly escape like air out of a tire. Sao Paulo-based artist Arthur Lescher alters the viewer's sense of gravity, suspending and upholding pieces in unusual ways that capture his simplistic approach. An abbreviation of the 4 dimensions as understood in the theory of special relativity, TXYZ presents 4 sculptors operating at the intersection of time and space. The traditional sculpture in the round is presented in 3-dimensional form, intended to be circulated and observed by a viewer. The variables of light and the physical viewpoint of the spectator form a gestalt that yields the human perception of what a sculpture is. TXYZ reverses the encounter between sculpture and viewer, so that the viewer's preconceptions of temporality and spatial relationships are shaped by the sculptures themselves. Pablo Rasgado and Túlio Pinto hold and displace their sculptures in time, entangling the viewer in an amalgamation of past, present, and future. Suspended and freestanding sculptures by Arthur Lescher and Veronica Vázquez appear to float and manipulate negative space, prescribing a new order of physics to be observed by the viewer. Human association becomes subject to the rules of space and time as laid out by the autonomous sculpture. The ultimate goal is to not only expand the gallery's program outside of its local communities in Uruguay and Miami, but to amplify what it means to be a part of a community. Community is not defined by homogeny, but rather diversity united in a shared understanding. As the PA Takeover Program continues to grow, it fosters a global network of galleries, curators, artists, and audiences. The new connections built through the program create an exchange of culture, concept, creativity, and perspective.